Hi, I'm Laura and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, a while again. Everybody is home, it's the weekend, there will be lots of noise, so be prepared for noises, squealing, possibly lots of editing cuts. It's life. We live life over here. I'm just going to pop on a bit of Revolution Pro Miracle Cream for a primer. It's like their version of the Bobbi Brown face base. So, it's been a while. I think it's been like, we're a week into March, aren't we? 2 weeks into March? I don't know anymore. The year has just been, I'm tired. I'm so tired. But yeah, the year's just kind of been drifting by and I feel like I haven't done anything. I know it annoys me slightly, but you know, sometimes it just cannot be helped, and it's just been one thing after another since like December, and yeah, getting any time to do anything that I find joy in just hasn't been possible. So hence no filming or anything, and yeah, and it makes me feel selfish to complain about it, but we're all entitled to have our little things that bring us joy. We're all entitled to our little hobbies, and if mine is just talking to a camera while I put on my makeup, I don't see any harm in that. Is that a problem? No. It makes me happy. But yeah. So, I haven't taken any of my Project Pan makeup back through here, so I'm just kind of gonna use whatever I find, I suppose. Let's do some Chanel. That's very, very fancy, right? Let's do some Chanel Perfection Lumiere. I don't even know if they still make this, but I still have it, so I'm gonna use it. To bring y'all up to date with all the goings on. Last update I shared with you, my dad had just gone out of hospital. We'd had a rough start to the year, and we'd had a lot of issues at home with behaviour and emotional regulation, and Nick and I haven't been getting on the best either, because I've not been home a whole lot because I've been busy taking care of my dad, getting shopping, working. I've barely been home. Nick's trying to get the kids all ready for their lunch, and there was just so many interruptions. I have literally no idea where I was. I know I was in the middle of putting on my foundation. That's about it. So I'm just going to start again and probably repeat myself a little bit. Apologies. So yeah, like last time I did an update, I was telling you guys about my dad had just gone out of hospital, and we're having a lot of stress and stuff at home. The kids didn't like the change of situation, and we're acting up, and we're having a lot of like misbehaviour, and we were losing our tempers a lot, and Nick and I weren't getting along very well either, which is understandable because we weren't spending an awful lot of time together, because I was either at work taking care of my dad or trying to get shopping or things that were needed, and I just wasn't spending an awful lot of time at home. So yeah, it was hard. So like add on top of that, we were having a bit of I was having a bit of financial issues because, changing jobs, I was going from fortnightly pay to monthly pay, and it was over Christmas and everything, and you know, you have bank holidays, so they're supposed to take payments after the bank holiday, but sometimes they were taking payments early when I hadn't been paid yet, and it was a lot of stress, a lot of strain. Trying to get used to making my money stretch a whole month rather than just 2 weeks at a time. It's been a learning curve, relearning how to budget my money and things. I mean, we always have food in the house. I always make sure the rent and everything's paid. I always make sure the energy bill's paid. But it's when you like other bills, like, you know, I have a couple of credit cards that need to be paid. I have a phone and stuff that need to be paid. Any like other thing that creeps up into capital. You know, we're having all this stress at home and everything. We end up having a problem with one of my neighbours. It's one of these things where, you know, like, you're so caught up in the moment, you don't realise necessarily how loud you're being. And instead of knocking on the door and being like, because she's a mother too, instead of knocking on the door and being like, hey, is everything okay? Or, hey, I see you guys are like overwhelmed, like, is everything alright? Anything you need to help? Do you want me to take kids for a little bit so you guys can have some quiet time? Because when she moved in, she was like so keen to be pals and do things together with the kids and everything, and oh, they can come over and play anytime. No, instead of doing any of that, she calls the police. It's like we're up to our eyeballs in the worst stress in our life, and the kids are pushing us to our freaking limits, and yeah, we shouted at them. I'm not, like, I'm ashamed of it, but for full transparency and honesty, we did shout them a lot over the Christmas period. It was such overwhelm, and this is probably gonna sound worse. We didn't shout at them as much as what happened over lockdown. And if you guys know about lockdown was when we fully uncovered, both of us, like, our childhood traumas. Like, our childhoods were not as great as we thought they were, and it was like the worst time of us being a parent. But over Christmas, we were shouting at them a lot more than we would on a normal basis. We are working on, like, the positive discipline avenue of things, but it's hard when you've never been raised that way. You're reteaching yourself, so that sometimes you do slip, and when you're in a state of such hyper stress and anxiety anyway, your emotional regulation is far harder to control. But to just go straight out and call the police rather than just knock on the door and be like, you know, be a nosy neighbour and say, hey, is everything alright? Especially when the month previous you were just, you know, you were more than keen to be pals. It was just insane. And then, you know, the police came over and they were like, well, we can see the kids are eating. There was like baskets of washing everywhere because I was in the middle of doing the washing, and they were like, yeah, there's toys kicking about, but it's like, you know, we have kids will be kids, and you know, parenting can be overwhelming, but we see literally nothing of concern. So, you know, we just had a little chat about Christmas, about how lucky they were that because it was on New Year's Eve as well, how lucky they were that they finished in 5 and didn't have to deal with the New Year's Eve business, and then they went on their merry way. And since then, I had a few times where I've raised my voice, and she has opened her door in the landing and been like, the shouting is too much, the shouting is getting to me. And I've tried to convey to her what's going on and how stressful I am. She's like, well, I'm stressed too, and shut the door in my face. And then there was one morning, Luna was having the meltdown of all meltdowns, and I was full on triggered, like full transparency. I want to share this with people because we don't talk about this as mothers. We don't, and we need to, okay? We as mothers can sometimes reach our emotional limit, and we do things we're not proud of. We act in a way that isn't anything we're proud of. And I did. Luna was having a huge meltdown. Like, it was an hour long, guys. I reached my limit and I snapped. I shouted at her, and she starts screaming through the wall at me. This woman started screaming through the wall at me, and she has since joined the PTA at our school, and now none of the parents will talk to me. They keep their kids away from my kids, and it's like, I don't understand. And then I came home from work a few weeks ago. And then I came home from work a few weeks ago and went to check on the kids because it was like after 10 o'clock at night. I usually go and check on them anyway. And I heard talking. I was like, what? Because our house is never quiet. You know, there's 3 kids running around. It's never quiet in our house. Whereas the few times we went to play over at her house is always pin drop quiet. Like pin drop quiet. And I heard her and one of the other mothers in her house through the wall, just talking, a normal talking volume. I'm like, well, if you can hear people talking through the wall, had to stop for a moment to assist with the toilet thing. But yeah, if I can hear them just talking through the wall, like, it kind of makes me think, was I really shouting that loud then? Like, because I spoke with the woman who lives upstairs. Her kids go to the school too, but she doesn't really talk to the mothers that she talks to. This is very, 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 like, playground drama. I know, I shouldn't get wrapped up in it, but, like, when it starts affects my kids socially, it kind of bugs me. But I was speaking to the lady that's upstairs, and she doesn't hear anything coming from our house. Like, she's too busy with her 3 kids upstairs, whereas the lady next door, she's got 1. And the only conclusion I can come to is that, sure, it was wrong of us to be losing our temper as much as we were. Unfortunately, that's not something I can change. It happened. We can only grow and move on from that. But the only other conclusion I can think of is, because she is an only child with only 1 child, I don't think she really fully comprehends the sort of standard noise level that goes on in a household. So yeah, I don't, or like maybe she's just super noise sensitive, because we'd been over there and she'd been complaining about the noise of the neighbour on the other side, because we live in like a terraced flat blocks, and she'd been complaining about the noise the neighbour on her other side was making, constantly banging, hammering. They've been packing up their house to move. The people on the other side in the next building, they'd been packing up their flat to move. So the only conclusion I can draw is that she's super noise sensitive, but like that intense level of stress that has caused us and continues to cause us, because anytime that we do raise our voice or maybe lose our temper and shout, it's like, God forbid, you can't even shout in your own, just things get heated. You do shout occasionally. You know, if you're one of those parents who magically never shout at their child, I would love to know how you manage to never shout ever. Please tell me your secret. Write a book. You'll make $1 million. Seriously. But every time we raise our voice or shout or anything, there's this underwhelming fear. Is like, are we gonna have to police at our door tomorrow? I don't know anymore. I don't know, and it's living in that constant state of anxiety. and it's very, very freaking stressful. You know, I've already got all my other stuff going on at home, like changing jobs and dealing with my dad being sick, and he was in hospital again. The first time he'd been in, it was after Christmas. It was like with pain management. Second time he was in was at the start of February, and it was he'd actually developed pneumonia, and he's now he was in for almost a week the second time as well. He's now on a feeding tube. Like, he finished his therapy while he was admitted that time. And so he finished his therapy, and because he had, well, they were going to put him on a feeding tube anyway because the amount of weight he'd been losing, because he was constantly coughing and being sick, and the therapy had inhibited his reflux and things, and there was a lot with it. But it causes like thickening saliva and stuff, which really did not help either. And it affected his taste buds and made him hypersensitive to the bitterness of the medication he was being given. So every time he would take it, it would just come back up because the taste would just, you know. So they had him on a feeding tube for that anyway. And, you know, I've been helping my dad with his anxiety and going through it and all, because like the whole thing is he's a lot better now, like 3-4 weeks later, but at the peak of his treatment and everything, he couldn't talk very well. Like, you had to get him sometimes to repeat himself 4 or 5 times to get the gist of what he was trying to say, and he felt like the nurses weren't listening to him, were ignoring him, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't you know, he couldn't be understood, and he felt so useless and helpless. And, you know, my dad's like 60, and, you know, trying to comfort this person needs to be like the biggest, strongest male presence in your life, and then you got some woman next door who doesn't have any empathy for the tribulations of parenthood. It's been hard. It's been hard. And there's no one around here I can talk to either, because they're all think I'm some psycho mum who shouts at her kids all the time. And you know, anytime the kids are outside, and if they do something silly like run out of the road or whatever, and we've called them back or shouted on them, it just reinforces what they thought of us. Oh, you managed to put it back together yourself, huh?
Yeah, we get round the tile and put these two on, and I put it on one hand and put the middle one, and these two. And I remembered what it was like.
Oh, okay. You see, I personally haven't got a problem when people like raise their voice or have to shout at their children at some time. Moments of dysregulation and things, they're perfectly natural. They happen. It's as long as you come back well from it, and heal from it, it's fine in my opinion. My parents weren't huge on yelling. Like, I don't want this statement to trigger people, but a lot of people think this is true. They think people who shout at their children are also doing other physical things towards their children. My father never shouted at me. I love my father. He's amazing. It doesn't invalidate any of the horrible things he did. My dad, he was very patient. He could take a lot, and but when my dad lost his temper, he lost his temper. He didn't shout at you. It was a swift, quick reaction. Be it you weren't able to sit down for an hour, or on one occasion I was thrown across a room. Okay? And my dad never shouted at me. Just to put that out there. But a lot of people, that's the correlation they make. You shout, therefore you must hit them. You must beat them. I do not. And the only reason I do shout is because my parents were so quick to hit that it's a conscious control of rewriting that hard wiring in me not to do that. And the frustration has to come out somehow. And I've been on this journey for 3 years now, trying to heal how I was raised, reparent myself so I can parent my children better. And I envy people who had good childhoods, who were raised correctly and raised with kindness and love, and didn't have to deal with things I dealt with as a child. But I just wish they would have more empathy for the parents who are trying to heal themselves from that, you know? Like, I used to think my childhood wasn't that bad, and comparatively it wasn't. There were far more children around me that had it worse than I did. So comparatively, I had a good childhood, but in the grand scheme of things, no, it wasn't that great. And yeah, I have to process that whilst raising my children, and stress and I hope this makes sense. I might talk about it more clearly in a future video, but I'm just trying to give a rundown of what's been happening lately, and it's yeah. I actually put something up on my Twitter feed a while ago, and it was like, yesterday we had, it was something along the lines, sentiment was like the day previous my children had a meltdown, I'd lost my temper, but today we had a dance party and everyone was happy and it was all smiles and giggles. But no one will ever remember that because all they heard was the shouting yesterday. And that's kind of how it is. Like, people who hear the shouting, they don't hear what came before the shouting. And, you know, the only time our mutual existence in this building becomes apparent is when there's been shouting. It's just going to process in people's head that all you do is shout. It's like, no, you just only hear the shouting. You don't hear any of the other stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to dwell on this subject any longer, because it's just going to upset me. It's just going to upset me even more. And I've got work to go to after this, so I don't want to be depressed when I'm going to work. I'm going to throw on some makeup, and I'm going to sneak peek a little thing for you. I did, my no-buy has not. It has been good, but it also hasn't been. I did break down and buy a couple of things from Sephora. It used to be Feel Unique, but they've been bought over and they're now Sephora in the UK. So I did purchase things over Christmas with Christmas money and things, but I also purchased some Natasha Denona palettes that I've been eyeing up since they launched. So I'm going to use the My Dream palette today. Just because I can. Might make me feel a little better. Cheer me up a little bit after that. This is actually one of the things I bought over Christmas, Urban Decay Primer Potion. Because I haven't had Urban Decay Primer Potion in like a year now. And it feels so nice to have it back. So nice. I'm really kind of excited. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to pop on some of this Unity. Peel off the mirror sticker so I can use the mirror. I just want to do something a little bit light. When I've been doing my makeup lately, it's been going very dramatic, very quickly, and I don't mean it to. So I look like I'm going on a night out when I'm just going to work. And I work in a kitchen. No one sees me unless I'm going to the laundry room to wash dish towels. So yeah. As far as the no-buy has been going, I'll probably do a full video on that. But it's been going okay. I've not really had like a major urge to buy anything apart from like these palettes, and I did buy the Michaela palettes from Glamlight. They're in transit somewhere. I probably won't get them till like the end of March, but they're things that I've been wanting for a while, and I figured, why not? Just buy the damn palettes. Life's short. Just buy the damn palettes. Enjoy them, use them, love them. So yeah, and that has kind of impacted on my sort of makeup usage. Day to day, I do still have the things I'm panning in my bathroom. I haven't gotten around to editing the intro videos for any of the projects those products are in, so I don't even know if I will bother. I might just do a video and show you guys what I've been working on, what I've used up so far, and go from there. Because one of the projects, you know, has already been and gone. I was doing the 14 by February 14th. Didn't finish a whole lot for that project, but you know, it's been and gone. It's been and gone. So posting an intro to that, just, it doesn't seem relevant anymore, really. I'm gonna go into this Instinct shade. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Again, this is just going too dark for work, but whatever. We're just gonna go with it. It makes me happy, so let's just do it. I'm really liking this. Very nice. But yeah, so I will just do like an overview of the project pan, the makeup that I'm trying to use up. I'm not doing a specific project anymore, and I might just bundle together all of my pan those palettes projects and just do the like one video a month update rather than lots and lots of videos, because that's just a hassle when it comes to editing. Just edit one video, record one video, and you can just get it uploaded, and it'll be great and grand and fine, you know? Be great, grand and fine. I'm going to throw on some cream shadow, if I can find the brush I've been using. There we go. It's this old Body Shop brush, but it's like perfect for cream shadow. This is just the Organza cream shadow from Revolution. I don't know if they still make these. It's been a while since I've just casually browsed makeup websites. I just genuinely have not had the time. Literally, I get up, take kids to school, get shopping done if needed, or come home and do housework, and then it's lunchtime, and then it's time to go to work, and then I go to work, and then I come home and go to bed. That has been my life. Go see my dad like 2-3 times a weekish. I haven't been to see him this week because I really needed a bit of a break, some rest, and I've completely forgot to mention the cherry on top. in amongst this whole stress and everything, as I said, Nick and I haven't been spending any real amount of time together. That I like listening to them resolving their own problems. Things I'm saying are making an impact. But yeah, so we haven't had a whole lot of time together, and that includes, intimate couple time. Once, guys, once. Once is all it takes. They were not lying to you in sex ed. And in case I'm being a bit too subtle, we're expecting baby number 4. I'm super happy, but at the same time, this is really not good timing. It's really not good timing. But it'll be fine. We will make it work. And I've spoken to both of my midwife and my health visitor, and they're going to both write to our housing officer and get us a recommendation for a move as soon as we can, because we are in a 2-bed house. Well, 2-bed flat, I should say. 2-bed flat. And it is getting kind of cramped in here. Like, even if, we swapped rooms with the kids and they got the bigger room, we took the smaller room, like, we'd still have to move soon anyway, because once girls are 8, they need to be in a separate room from their male siblings. And Luna's just coming up for 7, so we'd need to move in the next couple of years anyway. And as much as my plan was to write and make money from my writing, I ain't had much time to write. I've not had much time to write at all. So that is not happening right now. So we're going to have to rely on the council to rehome us somewhere a bit more appropriate. So yeah, it's there's a lot going on in my life at the moment. There's a lot going on. And I'm just tired all the time. Before I found out that I was, pregnant, I've been so busy rushing around, and I hadn't been eating properly. I almost fainted at work. Like, that's how busy and stressful my life was going. I forgot to eat. Like, genuinely forgot to eat. I was just grabbing a coffee where I could, grabbing a hot chocolate wherever I could, and, grabbing a quick bite while I was on a bus journey. I was falling asleep on the bus. Falling asleep on the bus. That's how tired I've been. In the middle of the afternoon, dozing off on the bus. I actually really like how that turned out. I like these colours, they're so pretty. Just gonna grab some stuff to put on the rest of my face. What should I put on? Grab the Charlotte Tilbury thingadoo. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to moving and starting afresh somewhere else. But at the same time, my kids are really settled in the school that they're at. They're very comfortable there, although at the same time, I'm not very happy with the quality of education they're receiving there. So, yeah, it's a double-edged thing. They won't be happy to move, but if I can get them into a better school, that would be better for them. A school that preferably has more boundaries, a bit more structure. It's like, you can do the Montessori thing and still have boundaries and structure. That's the thing I don't understand about this school. They talk about doing the Montessori, and it's all like child-led learning and things. Like, that's great and everything. But when it comes times to, you know, you actually want the child to do as they're told, you haven't built that you haven't established that type of relationship with the children, so they're not going to. Right, I'm not going to use the blush from this palette because I remember the last time I used it, I didn't like it. I thought it was too shimmery. So I'm going to use... Do I want to use Coralista? Let's go with Coralista. Warm up my face a little bit. It'll match the eyes a bit more. I've been using Rockateur on the daily, and I've hit really good pan on Rockateur. I can't wait to show it to you. But yeah. So that's how life has been here. That's why I haven't been uploading any videos. Just been way too tired, way too stressed, and yeah. So hopefully in the coming few months I'll be able to film a lot more now that things are settling down. Dad is out of treatment. He's getting more, he's being assessed for more at-home, in-home care, and extra things to help him. Like, he might be getting a chair that helps him recline, or like a hospital bed to help him sleep better. That would be good. And yeah, we'll hopefully be getting moved some point towards the end of the year, and yeah, we're just trying. My biggest goal at the moment is trying to establish a routine. This happens at this time. We do these things. Just like not a regimented routine, but like a flow. I need to be able to get things done, and I need to know that I'm going to be able to get things done. I'm sick and tired of filling out my planner with all the things I need to get done, just for none of it to get done during the week. None of it. And then I have to transfer it onto the next week, and then the next week, and then the next week, and next thing I know, I'm like a month behind in the things that I wanted to achieve. As like, I am October 2021 behind in the things I want to achieve right now. That's how little I've managed to get done in the last year and a half. I haven't gotten any further than what I'd planned to do in October 2021. So that's where we are. I hope this video wasn't too much of a downer, and I hope that I was able to express myself correctly and accurately, and as I say, I just wanted to be fully transparent and honest about what's been going on, in hopes that it will help other people. In fact, I was actually watching the what inspired me to do this and talk about this. I was watching Michelle 1218 on, I think her surname's Vidal, Michelle Vidal, on Instagram. I've watched her since way back in the early YouTube days, but she was talking about on the stories about the overwhelm, the level of noise that children make. They are darlings. It is age appropriate. It is developmentally appropriate behavior, but the noise, it gets to you sometimes, especially when you were a child that wasn't allowed to do that wasn't entitled to that very basic luxury. Like, what my children do is, as I say, very age and developmentally appropriate. If I had done those things, I wouldn't have been able to sit down for an hour. Even though they were age and developmentally appropriate, they were undesirable behaviours and needed to be stopped. as long as it's happy noises, it's fine. It's fine. It's when they're constantly fighting and bickering and it just hits this pitch, this tone, it starts to grate on you. Oh, hello, little peeper. Hi. Do you want to come say hello? That's a Rosie. Rosie's walking now. Rosie, where are you? You coming? Boop. Come on. Ah. What have you got? You got a cracker? Oh, have you got biscuits? Oh, yummy, yummy biscuits. Here's our Rosie. Yeah. Oh, can you see yourself in the mirror? Can you see yourself up here? Oh, there's Rosie. Hi. My little darling, are you? And your big brother and big sister are super good at looking after you, aren't you? What, are you blowing kisses? Are you blowing kisses? You go. You blowing kisses? Yeah. But yeah, I will leave this video here because this madam, she will just get in about everything if I let her stay here for much longer, won't you? Yeah, I can see those eyes. I can see them. Yeah, I need to put all this away, don't I? I need tidy. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. And yeah, hopefully it won't be such an intense video next time. Yeah, bag. You say bag? You say bag? Bag. Yeah, we're still in the little first word stages, but she is doing so good. Yeah. We should have gotten a picture of them walking down the road. Rowan was holding one hand, Luna was holding her other hand. They were walking down the road together. I'll have to get a picture and share it. It was so adorable, wasn't it? Yes. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You gonna wave bye?